what a crazy 24 hours it has been in pro wrestling, and I think that's totally fantastic. Everyone is so damn angry. Wrestling should make you feel something, right? And the reason I wanted to get that out as soon as we start this video is because I think it's a very nuanced situation. I don't think it's a black and white situation. I think there are going to be some ups, there are going to be some downs. Who knows more about that than me? I think if you're only feeling one thing right now, you haven't bought in, or you haven't actually realized you have that many emotions. And that's why it's something we are going to talk about in professional wrestling for many years to come. Because John Cena did retire last night at Saturday Night's Main Event. I am Simon Miller, the Bald Idiot. I am going to talk to you about this. I want to use that word again, right? This is going to be a nuanced discussion. Please listen to the words that I say. Don't just react and send me insane messages on the internet. Because even me, myself, I woke up and I felt one thing, then I felt another thing as I let these feelings rocket through my brain. So I do want to get into it. I do want to have a proper chat. I massively appreciate you joining me today. I'm sure you're looking for content all over the place. And we are going to talk about the Cody stuff and the Bayley stuff and the AJ Styles stuff, but I'll put it towards the end of the video. Usually I would do it the other way around. So if you could do me a solid and make sure you do stay, you can leave the room. Don't have to watch me if you know what I'm talking about. But there's nothing bigger than John Cena's retirement, so we will get into that. Please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Just interact as much as you can. Let's try and get some good engagement off this as well, because that is the YouTube game. Let's talk about it, my friends. John Cena is done. Now, in terms of the emotion of this, I thought it was wonderful. I think it goes to show that professional wrestling is totally unique in many ways. And it was 23 years worth of time, love, respect, hustle, loyalty, all of those words. I mean, the actual things we went through, all the celebrities and all the legends that were paying their tributes to John Cena throughout the evening. You're like, oh my gosh, he really has had such a massive impact on sports entertainment, because who else has a 20-year run on top, which is essentially what John Cena did. You look at Steve Austin, it was more of a, not a flash in the pan, that's the wrong word, but it was on fire for 5 years. The Rock obviously went out there and found success in Hollywood. I mean, Hulk Hogan would be of this ilk, Bruno Sammartino would be of this ilk, but we're living in a completely different age where we have social media and you can be a casual wrestling fan, but you know John Cena. You may have started watching wrestling when John Cena was around and you gave up after 5 years. Then you hear, wait a minute, John Cena is retiring, so you came back into this. There are so many levels to it, right? It's such a deep well that you can jump into, which is why it was so good. It was so great. We had this awesome video just before the main event, and then Gunther walks out, and that's what I knew instantly. And of course, you can debate me on this. Gunther was the right guy, just looked like such a villain. He could have been in Star Wars. And the fact this came after a video where you're like, oh my God, John Cena, you've got to win. And then John Cena's entrance, man, that's when I welled up for the first time. You could see what this meant to him. I'm exaggerating, and I'm sure there's some recency bias there, but it's how I feel right now. I've never heard a pop or ovation like it. Like, it made me feel something, man. I was beside myself. And given that I did not know who was going to win, that all tied in. And when John Cena went to ringside and he talked to Sami Zayn, talked to Haku, you know, my Haku story, well, it meant something to me. Kevin Owens was there and a bunch of other people, Mark Henry, Elias, of all people. I was like, man, this is just... what a roller coaster down memory lane. And when John Cena was looking at Gunther and Gunther was looking like John Cena, man, was I ready. Was I pumped? Now, we talked about this on my predictions video. I would have had John Cena win. I want to make that very clear out the gates. But I was guessing the whole time. And I actually thought John Cena was going to win with an AA, especially when he powered out of the sleeper for the first time. People were being thrown through tables. Gunther was just acting like an absolute bully. He was the right choice to once again repeat myself, because he was a heat magnet here. And if you had put someone in like a Carmelo Hayes, or who else did people want? I can't remember, an LA Knight, you wouldn't have got this dynamic. This was Wrestling 101. Here is your hero. Cheer as much as you can. Here is your bad guy. You can boo him. And he has built what he's done in WWE to take all this heat. So it's totally fine. In terms of a professional wrestling match, if you want to talk about it move for move, we've seen it 1,000 times. But wrestling is about emotion. And wrestling is about what it does to your brain. And wrestling is about psychology and keeping you guessing and keeping you on your toes. From that vantage point, and because once again, the atmosphere was so damn electric, I had a wonderful time. I always think John Cena was just happy to sort of put everything out here, because he was so chopped red. His skin like an absolute beef burger, a beef patty by the end of it. And yes, eventually he was locking in the STFU and Gunther was locking in the sleeper. And it was that final sleeper. You could tell it was the final sleeper, or at least I could. Not trying to say, oh, I understand professional wrestling to such a great degree. But there was just one where you're like, okay, this is it. This is the home stretch. Either John Cena's going to power out and get the win, or he's going to reverse it into the STFU, or we're about to enter a world where people are going to explode. There was an amazing turnaround where he did hit that last AA, but Gunther was able to kick out, and then yes, after he'd held him there for a good minute or so and done those nasty elbows right into his neck, which was kind of surreal to see John Cena take, and I don't even know why. But Gunther cinched it in, and just as John Cena was about to pass out, well, that's how I took it. I could completely wrong. That's my interpretation of it. He did a little bit of a smile, which absolutely sent everybody crazy too. John Cena tapped out. I think the last time he tapped out was 2004, 2005, so we'll call it 20 years. But he went all of this way, and he said he'd never give up. Can you believe it? That mother flubber gave up. Now, here was my instant take, and I think all these takes should be there. I think you should have your instant take, I think you should have your 1 hour take, and I think you should have your 5 hour take. And you should have your Sunday take as well, or your Monday take, I should say. At first, I didn't like it. I was like, I watch professional wrestling because I want to feel warm and fuzzy in my tum-tum, right? How often have I said that? Shout out to that one guy that gets so mad at me. In case you don't know, this just fuels me to say it even more. But I really did think that a wonderful moment, which is so hard to create, because you do need all of this tenure, and you do need a career like John Cena has had, to see him get one final win, especially when you had 19,000 fans behind him, I think that would have just bowled me over. And that electric 1, 2, 3 pop moment, I think would have lived with us forever. However, the flip side to this is going to live with us forever too. It was very similar to WrestleMania 30, Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker, and you rarely get moments like that. We cut to people in the crowd, we saw some kids, everybody was devastated. There was a hushed silence, and then the boos began as soon as people saw Triple H, because we kind of went back to 2019 WWE. It was like, we're going to blame you, Booker Man. I'd have to imagine that John Cena was fine with this, knowing what John Cena is like and what he wants to give back to the business. But yes, my initial reaction was, oh man, I just want to watch wrestling for goodness and wonderfulness and positive. You shouldn't do that all the time. But I'm saying when you get to this kind of a peak, then just give people what they want and allow them to go home being like, man, I'm just so happy right now. And isn't wrestling is great, and can't wrestling put a smile on your face? And even though I had this issue in my real life, I can just forget about it because I got my stupid green top on. I got my big hat that cost me $400, but I don't care because I got to be a part of something that I will remember for the rest of my days. And WWE in the other way. Now, this is where we have to change hats. And I think this is super important. And people have been yelling at me all morning, but I will stand by this. I'm not saying it because I think it's fun to look at it from both ways. I think you have to. If all of a sudden you do think about the future of WWE, flub me sideways. Is Gunther about to become one of the biggest guys in all of wrestling? He retired Goldberg back in August, or whenever the hell it was. Now, he's retired John Cena. The rumor is that Brock Lesnar's going to retire next year. Gunther right now has to be the front runner for that position. So if WWE really wants to elevate him to a CM Punk level, a John Cena level, a Cody Rhodes level, a Roman Reigns level, they have just put him in pole position. Now, the work starts here. Like, one of the reasons Brock Lesnar was able to capitalize on that WrestleMania win so much, and yes, he was already a star too, but when he annihilated John Cena at SummerSlam, that's when it was like, oh my gosh. And WWE ran that for more than 10 years, because WrestleMania 42 is in a few months, and we're still treating Brock Lesnar that way. Now, in hindsight, I go back to the WrestlePalooza match, and no, John Cena shouldn't have lost that, right? Now, I understand we're trying to build Brock into something else, but him getting destroyed there and then doing this, I didn't think it worked as well. Again, this is why hindsight's a wonderful thing too. And I think I said at the time when WrestlePalooza was done, because I'd convinced myself that John Cena is going to win his last match, this is all kind of just, okay, we'll do this for that and we'll put X, Y together. Same with the Dominic Mysterio thing. But I can totally get it. I can totally understand it. John Cena has just taken all that power that was in his belly and in his loins, and he's given it to Gunther. And if WWE can capitalize on that and then make sure Gunther rams it down our throats, and on Monday he cuts the best promo of his career, we are off to the races. And he should now be the mythical beast like Brock Lesnar was. Like, if he comes out, you're like, oh my gosh. If he's in the Royal Rumble and he enters at number 18, everyone should stop and be like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? He shouldn't lose for ages. And someone sent me a message going, but he lost to Jey Uso. One, we all move on so quickly from that stuff. Two, Jey Uso rules. Three, I use the same analogy. That is like, I've lost $5 and then I won the lottery. Retiring John Cena is the biggest thing that anybody could have done in wrestling. It is irrelevant what he's done beforehand, which again ties into the Brock thing. Because Brock had actually lost a couple of big matches against John Cena and Triple H when he did come back in 2012. I always get confused with my dates. Then he went on that little run in 2014, is that right? And everything changed and we never looked back. We can do that with Gunther now. So it all depends on what road do you want to go down. Because you can pretend that we don't fantasy book and we don't pretend that we're Triple H and we're sort of taking control of the territory, but we do that, right? So if you're looking way down the line, this was 100% the right thing to do, even though it made us feel sad. But wrestling sometimes should make you feel sad. Wrestling should make you feel something. We want the Hollywood movie ending, and I think that's an absolute valid opinion as well. But But sometimes it has to be tragic. It has to make you upset. It has to make you go, why has this happened to me? To tune in and boo Gunther. That's what they've chosen to do. But there's also another side of me that arguably is a little bit bigger, that just wanted a moment, that just wanted to feel nice, that just wanted to feel good in my Tootsie Toes. But that's why I love this so much, right? Maybe you can't say that wrestling hasn't thrown up on me. I do this. I do the What Culture work, check out my ups and downs as well. I wrestled last night for Chaos. I got in the Rumble. I did throw one person out, then I got eliminated. So my whole life operates around wrestling. So I think I'm pretty passionate about it, but I'm always happy to take it on the level that it's presented to me. So am I sad that John Cena lost? Yes. Was my instant reaction, I can't believe it? Yes. Can I then go, wow, man, but how great is this for Gunther? Absolutely. Now, if I was in charge, which would have been a terrible idea, I would have had John Cena pass out, right? Including the smile. I thought the smile was wonderful. I thought this is why sports entertainment is so damn good, because we can have these little things. You couldn't do that in UFC. It'd be absolutely ridiculous. But in the world of make-believe, you can. I just think there's an even better story from my very, very limited vantage point that John Cena, to his last breath, refused to give up. He's not going to do that. He always told you this. And then he passes out because his brain was like, yeah, John, we're not getting enough oxygen, so we don't want to die. So I'm going to have to turn your lights off. Gunther still wins. He still beat John Cena in his last match. He can still go on and on and on about this to the point, man, Gunther, one day I hope you get your ass kicked. But it also preserves this wonderful magic around John Cena. That's the best scenario, I think, for John Cena losing. Why we didn't do that, I don't know. Once again, you can come back at me and say, yeah, but Simon, he tapped John Cena out, one of the only guys to do it in his entire career. Maybe that does give him more power. And the only way we're going to know is by going 6 months down the line, 18 months down the line. I think this is such a major moment. We should be talking a decade down the line. Paul Heyman always talked about the Undertaker thing with Brock Lesnar. And I think Gunther has to do the same thing with John Cena. But sat here on Sunday, the 14th of December, 2025, I would have loved to have water coming out of my seeing devices going, John Cena, I love you so much. So happy that you won your last match because it made me feel good. But that's when we have to pause because there's something else we have to talk about. Because as soon as this was done, we did get that moment, right? I didn't end this show feeling mad or angry. I saw CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, our respective world champions, give John Cena the belts, which he really didn't want to take, I don't think. I thought he's got this very sort of solid idea about champions holding belts when they're not champions or whatever he was talking about that one time. We then got the most emotional video of all time. And when he left his iconic gear, he left his trainers in the ring, his sneakers, and he left his wristbands in there. And he walked down the aisleway and everybody was clapping and the entire roster was out there and you could just feel the energy in the room of the fans. And once again, at this point, going, John, you're our favorite ever. And he turned to the camera and he said something along the lines of, thank you for allowing me to do this. I was gone, man. I was gone. And I was like, that 5 to 10 minute segment is absolutely brilliant and way more important than a win or a loss. That's what you tuned in for, was this incredible moment with someone who I'm sure you either started watching wrestling with or you've grown up watching wrestling with, or if you're an old school fan, he came in and again, he's been there for 2 decades, saying goodbye and taking his final bow, which he quite literally did too. I don't think WWE could have done it even better, which is crazy because I think John Cena should have done a speech, a fine one, as he would say. But now I think I'm totally wrong. Like in the moment, I'd be like, oh, I'll say something, John. He didn't need to say anything. It was all conveyed with the video. It was all conveyed with the reactions. It was all conveyed with how people were reacting to him. It was 10 out of 10, 5 stars, 6.25 stars in the Tokyo Dome on the nose. That's probably something that I will go back to watch, right? I just thought it was amazing. And it made me realize how connected I am to this dumb thing to begin with. Because again, it just hit me right here. I was like, oh, I can't believe it. John Cena is done. So who cares? I know people get so mad at me, but who cares that he tapped out? Like, it should just be like a plot point in a movie. Did we like that they went left when we thought they should go right, or did we want them to go left and they did go left? It's going to differ depending on who you are. Even if you're the biggest John Cena fan, you can understand the idea, okay, WWE's chosen to make Gunther the biggest star possible, or we're leaning into the traditions of wrestling, which has always been you go out in your last match to give back to the business, to build a new star, which, to be fair, John Cena has been talking about for a while, so it's not that big of a surprise. But then there's a counterpoint to it is, well, no, wrestling is all about the fans, which is true. We perform for the audience there and the ones watching at home. Should we have given them a good moment so they just could have felt awesome for however long? If you're a massive John Cena fan, you may have loved that for the next 10 years. The reaction is great. I think we need the reaction. I think the back and forth we get on social media is good until people tell me, don't try to gaslight me, because you're weird, some of you, like you really are. But to not treat this like any other form of entertainment, which should be to trigger emotions, to trigger interesting conversation, to have back and forth conversations, to have the nuance of it all, I think we're letting ourselves down, which is a way silly thing for me to say. But you should be feeling about 52,000 things, and you should hear what other people are saying to you and going, I kind of see your point, but I don't agree. There's no good or bad here until you sit down and decide what you really wanted from this. And I will say this to you as well. If we get to the end of 2026 and Gunther doesn't feel like a bigger star, we haven't capitalized on it, then it's a complete waste. And I will feel awful about it because I'd be like, how did you do that to John Cena of all people? But I also know within the space of 20 minutes I went from, oh my gosh, he tapped out, my world is broken, to John Cena, you're the greatest person ever, can I please give you a hug, because of the emotion that we were able to put into the final stretch of all of it. And that's why I liked it so much. Sometimes, especially in WWE, actually in all wrestling promotions, who am I kidding, because they do put out so much product, some shows or pay-per-views are a little bit drab, a little bit meh, a little bit boring. This was none of that. This had you feeling each way of Sunday, man. Had you feeling good? Had you feeling good? Had you feeling sad? Had you feeling up, down, left, right, over in Australia, whatever the flub you want to say. And I so struggle to say this because people go, I can't believe you said that. I love wrestling. I really, really, really love it. But I'm not going to let this ruin my day. Outside of my wrestling bubble, in my wrestling bubble, I'll be over the top. I'll talk to you like this. But then I'll go have lunch. I'll be like, that was fun. I just think it was fun. And I think it was entertaining. I don't think it's something you can just stamp on, good or bad. And if you think it ruined the legacy of John Cena, I'd sit down and listen to you. But I also think the John Cena legacy that he wanted to be was to give back to professional wrestling. And we picked Gunther. And there's good parts to that and there's bad parts to that. But given that he retired Goldberg and I think he's going to retire Brock Lesnar, I think this was an inspired decision. So I'm pulled every single which way. And I think ultimately that meant WWE had done something right, because I think, excuse my language, is what art should do. It should get a reaction from you. It should confuse you. And one minute you should feel one way and the other minute you should feel the other way. But that's truly how I feel. It's not me sitting on the fence. You can go on my social media right now, cheap plug Simon316. At first I was like, oh man, I don't like it. Then I was like, oh man, but it is good for Gunther. Then I was like, oh wow, the poetic nature of John Cena getting booed in all those main events when he was Super Cena. And now everyone was being booed apart from him because we were so desperate for him to win. It's a wonderful 180. It's a proof that it is just a big circle of life, be it the actual lives that we do lead or it is professional wrestling doing its thing. So I loved it. And I loved Saturday night's main event overall. There's actually something worse than all of this that came in the Cody Rhodes Ober match that I'll talk about in just 1 second. But ultimately, John Cena has retired. As corny as it is, I just want to say thank you to John Cena as well. I've massively enjoyed his run. It wasn't all brilliant. Like JBL is poopy was not my kind of a thing. But he always got a reaction. He always made things interesting. He always gave you something to talk about, which ties directly into what we've just been having a conversation about too. And wrestling will be worse without him in it. He is one of a kind. You'll never get anybody like him again, just because the world has changed so much. And for somebody to be doing this at such a level for 23 years, that brought us to this moment. And that's why, once again, you may never be able to repeat this, because you have to put in so much investment and you have to have the attention of everybody, which he did do. But in terms of the crowd reaction, in terms of how it did end, I loved it. I thought it was awesome. But I'm still annoyed that he lost. But maybe, just maybe, that was the point. All right, Cody Rhodes versus Oba Femi. Stupid finish, right? It just was. I knew that Drew McIntyre was going to run in, but I thought Drew McIntyre was going to do something where we still saw a more, well, I guess a 1-2-3 finish, as opposed to just, oh, he runs in and punches him. If he was planning to do that, just do it in the first minute. Why did you wait 15? It doesn't make any sense. And you could have had Oba pin Cody or vice versa, with Drew McIntyre being the catalyst, and then they could have beaten him up and made it very clear, well done, Drew. Now not only is Cody your enemy, but Oba Femi is your enemy as well. Now, don't get me wrong, in my dream world, Oba Femi would have just pinned Cody Rhodes, and we put that in our back pocket for later. But if you do want to enjoy Drew, I can see scenarios, because WWE has done it before, where he creates some kind of a nonsense which allows Cody to pin Oba, which was an accident, and Drew's like, oh my gosh, and Cody can be mad, like, what are you doing? And Oba especially can be pissed off. Or you go the other way, the traditional distraction, and I don't know, Drew McIntyre Claymore kicks Cody on the outside, rolls him in. Oba didn't see it because he was looking the other way. We did this with Ilya Dragunov like 2 weeks ago. He hits his big powerbomb or the choke slam, and he gets the 1-2-3. He still got that win. And listen, me as a fan, I'll still be like, I'd probably come on here and go, why couldn't we just let him win? But I understand that WWE sometimes wants to protect their big stars, and they probably know better than I do. But just to have someone come in and throw the match out, like, well, that takes away from the fun of the whole thing. I was so excited because the big question in the chat that we had, who wins between the NXT champion, the young up-and-comer, versus Cody Rhodes, who is one of the faces of the company? That's a terrific conversation to have. Instead, it was nobody. And I understand that Oba pushing Drew on his ass is a big king and giving him that choke slam after Cody had given the Cody cutter. But It feels like a get out of jail free card. This is exactly what I said on What Culture 2. It just feels like, well, we can just play that and we'll be fine. Well, you played it too much for me this year, and I still loved everything Oba did. I thought Cody was brilliant in this match, but the finish left me dejected in a completely different way from the John Cena finish. That was meant to make you feel that way, and I think this is a really interesting distinction to make. You were meant to feel like, oh, I don't know what to do about this. How dare you? This just made me go, well, why did you do the match? What was the point? I don't even think it furthered the Drew McIntyre-Cody Rhodes story because they both tried to murder each other in vehicles. But the good part is that Oba Femi looked tremendous here. All the NXT guys did. Any NXT person that was on this show should be on the main roster tomorrow. Because if you can do it now, which they just did, why the flub wouldn't you do it? Same with Bayley versus Sol Ruka. So much fun. Got worried when Zarya and Live Akira was out there. Oh no, don't do it again. But they didn't. They had a great match. Bayley was the veteran, etc., getting the reversals in. Sol Ruka was the sprightly rookie going flippy-dippy-doo-dah crazy. That dive she did to the outside was brilliant. She gets the stole snatcher. Interestingly, Bayley sold that to the outside, so we never got a proper pin. So I guess that's kind of protecting Bayley, and she hit the Rose plant, but she pulled back too far on the leg. So by accident, on purpose, Sol Ruka's leg went onto the rope, so she wasn't able to beat her. That's when I knew Sol was winning. Then they had the most devastating move in all of Sports Entertainment Exchange, and it was Sol Ruka that got the 1-2-3. They embraced, much like Cody and Oba, because they are baby faces. But it's a similar kind of situation. Sol Ruka needs to talk about this. I beat Bayley, and as soon as she's on the main roster, we need to do the feud, and we need to talk about this. And I presume Sol Ruka probably be a heel by then. That's kind of what I've got from NXT, although she's a way better baby face. Although I don't know, actually, I've never seen her as a heel. I mean, just shout out to Bayley. What an absolute legend. She has given back so much to wrestling, especially over the last 10 days to 2 weeks, and she's always been that way. But a really solid match, a really great showing for Sol Ruka, the right winner, because Bayley at the moment, while she is brilliant, is kind of in no man's land. Like, the team with Live Akira is really fun, but they're kind of not really doing anything. Kind of lost their way a little bit, but no notes, really. Really fun match. The right person won, and Sol Ruka's going to be a massive star. In many ways, she already is. The best match on the show, bell to bell, was Leon Slater and Javon Evans versus AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Just go and watch it. It was tremendous. I think Javon and Leon went out there to remind AJ Styles that he's one of the GOATs. And because AJ Styles is one of the GOATs, he's like, I'm going to make you look like $1 million. And Dragon Lee is so underrated, man. What a terrific wrestler. There were just so many cool sequences in this. And I know that AJ Styles slipped when he went to the phenomenal forearm. But the fact that Leon went to pin him straight away made the match better as far as I'm concerned. That's what you would do in real life. It shows you what a great worker Leon Slater is, that was his instant reaction. Then he jumps right into the Stars Clash 1, 2, 3. Leon was always going to lose here because technically he's a TNA talent, although I'd argue not for long. But Javon has been up now, 3-4 times? The man is gold. The man is brilliant. I love that match with The Miz. I love this one even more. Leon Slater is the same. They could be a tag team. They could be individual stars. They can do it all. Dragon Lee needs to be continued using this position. He's on a great run. And AJ Styles, who is retiring next year, maybe even at the hands of Gunther, is one of, if not the best wrestlers of all time. And he changed the game. So he ticks all the boxes. There's not even that much I can say about this. It was just brilliant and it was fun and everything hit apart from the slip, but I actually thought, like I say, that made it more fun. Some of the dives were incredible. It was just old school wrestling meets new school wrestling, and one of the reasons we have this type of wrestling is because of AJ Styles. The tag team title situation was weird. Sometimes it was on the line and then it wasn't. It made sense for it not to be on the line because then you could believe that Javon and Leon could win, but they didn't. I mean, Javon's going to go feud with Ricky Saints now. I guess Leon goes back to TNA, but he is the X Division champion, which is incredible. Imagine I told that 10 years ago. The X Division champion will be on John Cena's last ever show. You'd be like, what are you talking about, you weird bald guy? I'm just going to draw a line under it and say it was wonderful. It was executed perfectly. Just AJ Styles, I love that man, and I love everybody in this. They all went out there, and they showed you a very past, present, and future matchup. Go watch it today. You won't be disappointed. It kicked ass. And yes, we had that segment with the Miz, R-Truth, and Joe Hendry. I don't understand why people were mad about this. Not only was it a nice, sort of come down before the John Cena main event to get you super ramped. Quite clearly, John wanted to focus on the Miz for obvious reasons, R-Truth for obvious reasons. I think Joe Hendry has said in interviews that he has a good relationship with him. He wanted to fight him, so this was kind of like a nice halfway house. Joe's just had the most terrific 2025, surprise at Mania, surprise at Rumble, and doing this. I wrestled Joe in 2023, and obviously I'm nowhere near where he is. But if somebody had told me that at, oh, you're going to do this in 2025, but there's no way. And I think people would have felt the same about Joe Hendry as well. His rise has been inspirational and motivational. I had no problem with it. The Miz got his ass kicked and everyone did John Cena moves to him. And then they did their own finishes and then they did the turn into the camera. It lasted, 5 minutes? I have nothing else to say about it. Not in a bad way, but I had to mention it. And some people were melting down on the internet. I was like, WWE's done a lot worse. So that brought us to the end of Saturday night's main event. Easily the best SNME of all time, or since we've come back and started doing it. And I'm just so excited that we can talk about this John Cena and Gunther match forever. Just to double down on it, if I was booking this show and somebody told me that Gunther had to win, I would have had John Cena pass out. And if someone said, Simon, you can do whatever you want, I would have had John Cena win, right? I'm very much into the idea in my old age that I just think we should make people feel good, especially if you paid a lot of money, which, people have. I think you have to factor that in as well. I'm still excited that Gunther is now going to become a massive star, even bigger star, or more of a force, whatever word you want to use, because I've always been such a massive fan of his since he was Walter. But that's just how I would book my personal wrestling promotion. But I understand why WWE's done it that way too. And it's a shame that we do get to the crazy shouting so fast, because I honestly think we could sit down and talk about this so in-depthly, which of course we'll do on this channel as well, but I don't get your instant feedback. Forever we can talk about it, and our feelings are going to change. How we feel now is not going to be the same in February or April or June, because we need to see the fallout. But I remember watching it, and again, my initial reaction would be like, I can't believe it. And then everything else that was rushing through my brain, I was like, this is good professional wrestling. And this is what I probably imagined John Cena wanted. Just to sit there and try and figure out what you don't like, what you do like. But if you hated it, I'm with you. If you like it, you're with you. I probably need a bit more time to sit through it with my feelings like a Jedi, but that's not how this reaction game works. But I know I had a terrific time, and I know I was excited to talk about it. Usually that means we've done something not necessarily correct, but something that I enjoy. Now, you're going to have loads of comments. Please drop them down there. Be respectful to everybody. You're allowed whatever your opinion is, but try and put it out there in a real interesting way so we can sit down and go, oh, that's interesting, and smoke safe cigars. Otherwise, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Click the video on the screen, which will be SmackDown, actually, because I talked about a lot of NXT stuff there, and I think it's important. Patreon.com/Simon316. Come and watch my watch-alongs. We had a bunch of John Cena matches. Yesterday, we did Roman versus Cody WrestleMania 40, and I did my match where I busted my eye open the other day as well. So please do go support there if you can. GorillaMind.com/Simon. You go to Simon, get 10% off fitness sub ships worldwide. These are the best. My big box came the other day, and I'm excited because I like using these when I go to the gym. Otherwise, yes, come call me an idiot at Simon316 on social media. Loads of cameos coming through at the moment for the holiday season. Join in with those. Dumb, funny, silly videos on TikTok. Please support me there. And ProWrestlingTees.com if you would like a Simon Miller t-shirt, and who wouldn't want that? John Cena, you're an absolute legend. You're the absolute man. No one is ever going to have a run like you. Thank you for entertaining me for the last 20 years. I massively do appreciate it. And I've said this in all my other videos. I'm going to say it here as well. Your Make-A-Wish work, which is just second to none, reminds me that being nice is the most important thing in the world. And that's always how I've tried to live my life. So thank you once again for inspiring me there too. I appreciate you all for watching. See you soon.